These are two of the 5-layer face masks that I've made. These two are going to an Air Force vet and his wife. And I want to mention, which I think is important, one final step I'm going to do. So this is the Eat, Pray, Create pattern, and I'll put the video link to the first video that I did about this with the pattern reference. It's the Eat, Pray, Create pattern, only I have used disposable face mask fabric, 3 layers in the middle. Other people are using interfacing, but you want to look into that a little bit, because different types of interfacing, even the different brands, were able to block more or less particles. But anyway, so on this is a finished face mask. And after I did the quilted masks, and now I'm checking all masks for, if you can see through the sewing holes. These have been washed, and like I said, the fabric generally pulls around the stitching. And even on a regular 2-layer Eat, Pray, Create, or any of the masks that use 2 pieces, there are slight gaps in the one seam allowance that might let something in. So what I'm doing today, you can use seam binding, but what I'm doing today is making strips of seam binding myself, and my final step is going to be to hand sew muslin seam binding from the top to the bottom to cover the 2 rows of stitches right there, so that nothing can come in. I just feel better making masks for other people and myself, knowing that nothing can come in. So these are about 1 inch wide, and I'm going to fold them. I may have to cut them wider than that, but I'm going to fold them so each row of machine stitches you see there is going to have 2 more layers covering it. So you might want to go to 1.5 inches, which is more like this one, to give yourself a little bit more to work with. But fold that over and then hand stitch that right down the inside. And then that will cover any of those machine stitches and further block anything out. I think these are perfect, to tell you the truth. I know there are a lot of masks out there, but for myself, I think these are perfect, especially now with that one piece hand sewn inside. And if it turns out that this fabric does fall apart over time, or for some reason doesn't work out, then I would just do 3 inner layers with muslin, which I did make one already on the 1591. So the only conundrum, really, to making this is having a machine strong enough to go through, potentially, the way it gets put together, 6 layers of muslin. That would be the worst case scenario, and I haven't made one on the Brother yet. You could do it by hand, I guess. It would take you a few minutes. You'd be stabbing through the layers, but it is doable. So that's the final step to these masks, is I'm putting basically seam tape on the inside of each mask.